All right, so I was hunting on my parents' property earlier in the evening. I scared a couple doe that were behind me. Then there was a doe way out in front of me, maybe 100 yards out. At the same time, I heard something behind me, so I couldn't lift up to aim at that at all. Eventually, it came into almost 50 yards, but I wasn't going to shoot a doe tonight. So then it kind of seemed like slightly spooked, and it went off towards the other hunting blind up the hill. And then later on, I was just looking around, and I turned my head back to the right, and there was a deer about maybe 40 yards away. And then there were two more, and at least two of them were bucks, and they were moving around. It was pretty hard to get the camera on. I got the Tacticam turned on also. It's kind of hard to see them in the frame and everything, but I saw this one. This was the widest one, and at one point you can see it in the footage, and it's kind of looking towards me, and the antlers look kind of dark. And I think that was the moment that I thought this deer had about 15 trash points on the left and 15 trash points on the right. But as you can see, there's none. There's one little tiny one right here you can't see. It's about that big. So fortunately, I ordered glasses and contacts the other day. Those, I'll have those soon. Obviously, I need them. It is legal in Pennsylvania, so I'm happy about that. I got it with a Ravin R29. There's a Hawk XP30 Pro scope on there. I love that thing. I do have a rangefinder attached, which was a huge help. This thing was at 30 yards. I didn't have to dig out my other rangefinder. It's a Laserworks LE032. I'm hunting with Black Eagle Zombie Slayer arrows. John Smith made those for me. They're super accurate. You can reach out to him if you want. AJ's Custom Arrows. I was using Rage broadheads. So I thought the thing ran into the woods, but I went back up to the house, checked the footage, decided that it looked like a double lung shot, kind of high on the entrance, but going downhill would have been a pretty good exit location, and it turned out that it was. So I went back up to the house, and then me and my dad came back down. He found blood right away. It was pretty easy to track at first, but the thing did not go in the woods at all. It went uphill, and the blood trail was not easy to track. It was through some tall grass and some medium height grass and then some real tall grass, and it was getting difficult. I was starting to get worried. At one point, I went to get the lighted arrow so we could use that to mark our last blood, and while doing that, I set my flashlight on the quad, lost my flashlight, which was my flashlight that was charged up. So now I have to decide, do I spend time looking for my charged flashlight with my other flashlight? I was starting to panic. It started to rain a little bit too, so I was getting pretty worried. The last spot of blood that we found was the smallest speck of blood that I've ever seen. It was like smaller than an ant's head, maybe, something like that. Really, really small. But we looked around, we looked up, and the deer was laying there dead. We found it. Here it is, Pennsylvania 6-point. Check out backyardbroadheads.com. I make a bunch of stuff for the Ravin crossbows and some other stuff.
And now let's get to the action.
Meh. Meh. That deer looked like it had all kinds of trash going on its antlers. And I ranged it at 30 yards. And I stopped it. He was stopped. And I tried to use my 30-yard pin. I think I rushed a little bit. I think I might have hit him a little bit high.
Definitely a pass through. He went off to the right. I'm shaking. It's early season in Pennsylvania. He had at least one other buck with him. I think he had 2 other bucks with him. Broadside. He ran off to the right. Shot with the Hawk XB30 Pro. Black Eagle Zombie Slayer arrows. Let's take a look at the arrow from here. All right, now it's getting a little cold and I'm starting to shake like crazy. So I'm going to check the footage and see how high I hit him. Definitely don't think it was back too far. All right, here's the arrow. Black Eagle Zombie Slayer. It's probably been about an hour now. This thing is covered in blood and we're going to start tracking.
All new Heart Drop subatomic.
From Backyard Broadheads, these are Heart Drop hangers. There's a Heart Drop 5-in-1 for most Ravin crossbows, and the Heart Drop 5-in-1 R26 for the Ravin R26. You can check them out on eBay or from backyardbroadheads.com. Both links are in the description below. This is another accessory for your Ravin crossbow, the 4-in-1 light. It attaches and detaches in seconds. It's an extremely level bipod. It's a hanger. It's a kickstand. It helps you with cocking and decocking your crossbow. It helps eliminate depth wobble from decocking. And then whenever you're in your tree stand, it helps stabilize the crossbow on your lap. And you can also rest it up on the shooting rail to keep your crossbow off of the rail and protect your crossbow.